You got a spread on him. Today, we're gonna go ahead and, the consent agenda, has several items on it. It's got the August 28th city council meeting minutes. It also has the approval of the September airport meeting minutes and the claim ordinance A01-0823.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda, which consists of 30 minutes, the regular council, each one is regular posted meeting minutes, airport advisory board September 2023, and claim ordinance. So I did claim ordinance for the agenda. Claim ordinance A01-0823.
I'll second. All right, consent agenda has been, voted on, or not voted on, but, a motion has been made by Councilor Hanson and seconded by Councilor Scritchfield. Any debate, any questions, any concerns about this? Errors and omissions? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, motion carries. The next item on our agenda are petitions and delegations. This is a moment where all citizen comments, you can please state your full name and whether you're an eligible city resident. All citizen comments are limited to 5 minutes per subject unless city council has further questions. Would anybody like to approach the podium and speak to the council?
Yes, sir.
Come on up, Don.
I don't need to know, but I need to introduce myself. I'm Don Hanser from Ellsworth. And the mayor kind of got my hopes up last week when you addressed the city council about wanting to be more transparent, in which I was really proud to hear that.
Thank you.
And I'm just coming back this week to see if we have any information about why we would proceed to the bonding companies of the parties involved. And I kind of feel the public needs to know that, why it should be public information, why we decided as a city not to go through with that.
I think, when you and Steve were here, we kind of went through it. It was just, we just don't have a documentation. We don't have a good, clean, you know, you can't go into some kind of a legal situation with a bunch of sticky notes. You know, you've got to have a good, solid trail, and this is a 10-year-old project. So when you look at all the mayors that have come and gone, city administrators that have come and gone, it was very clear that the information we're getting was just patchy. It's just not enough to put anything together, so it's just disappointing to all of us. So, that plus you got the major sponsor, we've already appealed to them twice. You know, will you fund more of it? So when they're putting their seal of approval on, you know, this doesn't look great, but we've done what we said we're gonna do. It's a tough climb.
But is there any reason why you didn't go after the bonding companies though and get that started, legal proceedings?
Yeah, I think it's basically one of the same exact, and I guess it's not a cut and dry, simple, easy thing to do legally. And so really it's the same foundational issue.
Mayor,
Go ahead, yeah. please.
Melissa Wood has agreed to prepare a legal statement. Would this council want her to go and do that if you're willing to leave it? Because it was discussed in executive session. So, if this is a legal question, it would be my perspective that you let Melissa, if you and the board wish to reveal to the public as done as requested, I would recommend that you have Melissa draft a statement with our official reasons for. That's a council vote, that's a council decision, but if you want to answer the question, that would be my advice.
I would be fine with that.
That's my opinion.
Yeah,
I think it was, in my opinion, I don't know about anybody else doing the same thing I am, but there's all this opinions out there, but all speculations. And it's not for good, it's not for good for anyone. It's not good for the parties involved, the parties not involved. So I welcome a good explanation on why we didn't proceed with that.
sure. So,
Thank you very much.
yeah, thank you, Don. Let's go ahead and vote on
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion that we ask the city attorney to prepare a legal statement concerning the detention basis and legal proceedings.
I'll second that.
it. All right, perfect. I love it. So Councilor Scritchfield has made a motion to allow a legal statement to be drafted by our city attorney regarding the detention basins at Grizzly Park. Councilor Johnson has seconded that motion. Any concerns, any reservations by council? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, motion carries. We'll go ahead and make that happen.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. I'm
Yeah.
sure the people in the community appreciate it.
Sure,
Well, eliminate a lot of speculation.
sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to approach this podium? 15 minutes, it's 5 minutes, actually. Okay, moving on. Unfinished business. Resolution, 2023-07, it's agenda item report 23-282. This is the. Get this page loaded in real quick. This is the budgetary matter with $15,000. You want to explain that, Dustin?
So as per our budget hearing, there was 15,000 that Angela and I had listed in the library fund as budget stabilization. Our auditors told us that it shouldn't be there, and so that's when when you prior to your approval of budget, I asked you for permission to take the 15,000 out. So this is, when we talked to our auditors on how to do that, they said instead of going through all the budget hearing again, because our first thought is, well, let's put it back into the general fund. But when our auditors said we need to do a budget hearing and all that stuff again, we figured it was just easier to lower the mill and return it back to the citizens. So what you have before you is an amending resolution to the first R&R, where we are lowering our decimal point to account for the 15,000 that we're returning back. If that makes sense. So it should lower I'm pulling up the resolution as it's loading on my machine too, but it should, or I think it's 80.074, if my memory serves me right. And the library will get what they got last year, just 138,000. There should be no issues at the state library this year.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve resolution 2023-07, which adjusts the mill levy rate from 80.095 to 80.074. Facilitating $138,000 in funds to the library, ensuring its continued operation and compliance with state funding requirements for the fiscal year 2024.
Second.
All right, Councilor Scritchfield has made a motion to approve the budgetary item mill levy decrease, and Councilor Hanson has seconded that motion. Any discussion? Any concerns? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, motion carries. We'll make that budgetary change. Next item on the agenda would be the Kirkham Michael updates. Come on up.
Short walk for me tonight.
Yeah.
Good evening, council, mayor. Brief update on the project for which Kirkham Michael is involved here in Ellsworth. First and foremost is the neighborhood multi-use path project. Construction is moving right along on the box culvert extensions. The north box culvert there by the armory, the old armory, so the city recreation building has been completed, the concrete and steel. The larger box, which I call the south box, in front of Cunningham's residence. The floor has been placed, and they were last week tying the steel and placing the forms for the walls and the ceiling. Depending on weather and progress, they might get the concrete in that this week. And they're planning for sure next week. We'll see how that comes along. And then they got some more work to do there to the south of that large box before they start backfilling the dirt and get ready for the sidewalk construction. So we're moving right along. I believe all the utilities have been moved. I haven't been out there this last week to see if the power poles are still need to be moved, but everything else is out of the way. Or no, we're not digging anything else really, so there shouldn't be anything underground that really gets in the way at this point. So we're looking in pretty shape there. The Chaos Spring Cost Share project with multiple sidewalks around the downtown area. We're down to just one remaining item, which is the storm sewer inlet there at First and Lincoln by the seating area. And Justin was going to have a conversation with the contractor about getting them back to complete that work. The next item, which is not a project under construction yet, but one that we're advertising now for bids, is the resurfacing of K14 in North Douglas, all the way through Ellsworth. It'll be a mill and asphalt overlay project. We're going to close the bidding on October 6th. We'll present the bids at the next council meeting. And we set the latest start date for construction for July 8th, 2024. The reason why we did that is that KDOT just recently bid a mill and overlay on K156 from Ellsworth going north to Interstate 70. The late start date on that project is, I think, in August of next year. So placing a late start date concurrent with that other project, we hope to be able to take advantage of having a contractor already right here in the county. And we're getting hopefully better bids. And so we didn't receive the bid, what we get. The sanitary sewer study for the residents at 1411 11th Street. We're still working on getting that final up to send to KDT. We should have that done in the near future. And the turn lanes at 156, 140. So I'm sure everybody's ready to get all the barricades out of there. Put in the notes here, but really what the crux of the issue was, the pavement marking company, their truck broke. And they're behind several projects. I heard that they are up and running again. They were last week and they were planning on being here possibly today, but then it rained, of course. So we're looking forward to them hopefully being there, if not this week, the next week after, to finish that project up and get everything off the road. Not the city's project, but the third lane south of Ellsworth, which is a KDOT project on K14. That project is 100% complete. So I will take that off my list for future reports. And future project, potential at least, we're working on developing a cost share application to resurface 3rd Street from Douglas to Blake. That's something that the company put together a cost estimate on. It's been several years ago now. We'll go up and polish that, see where we sit, and look to develop a cost share application for this round. It's due September 21st. Any questions from anybody?
When they resurface 3rd Street, are they gonna replace the utilities that are needed before they resurface it? The sewer and water lines there are in terrible condition.
You don't mind me answering that question? The resurfacing we're doing here is just a mill and overlay. It's not a complete mill. So it'll just take off the top inch and a half of asphalt, basically put the same back down. But no, there's no utility work involved. The funding from KDOT is only, the funding for KDOT only applies to the surfacing itself.
My concern is that you resurface that and then you have to dig it up because you put the water line.
Potentially, but we're only talking about a couple of this, not full bit asphalt. Yeah, I understand your sentiment. We'll need many more millions to be able to do the full depth pavement. Yeah.
However, we are currently in the process of working with BG Consultants. They contracted with us early last year, and they've been working with us to completely remap our water sewer data, our water and sewer infrastructure from one end to the other. And as a part of that project, they're also going to give us a project list to start replacing those utilities. I'm also working with Kirk and Michael to get a civil roadside done, and the goal is to try to kind of to match these projects up so that when we redo the road, we redo the water sewer infrastructure at the same time. That's a part of that comprehensive plan that I'm trying to put together. Sorry for the interruption.
No, absolutely.
John,
Good information.
do you have any idea about how long that light's gonna still be in operation? I'm not wondering. I guess that's pretty cold.
As for the culvert work, yes, I don't have an exact date, but a month to two, hopefully. Oh, month to two. Well, let's stop to do the backfilling, I mean, they haven't even poured the top on that.
Oh, okay.
One box, yeah. They get the concrete in this week, it'll need to cure for probably a couple of weeks, and then put the dirt up against the road, so I'd say at least for a month. Yeah.
That's a different style of meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, anything else, John, or?
Nothing to me.
All right. Thank
I
you.
think, Ron,
Hey, everybody, just a friendly reminder that public comments are during public petitions and delegations. We've kind of strayed a little bit over the past few weeks, and that would be a different meeting format, more of a discussion format. We want to kind of keep this formal, keep it moving along, just as a reminder, so. Certainly welcome questions, but we want it during that petitions and delegations time. New business, Grover's Hall of Fame requests, agenda item report, 23-283.
Go ahead, should I go ahead?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so there's two requests. The first one will probably be easier. They're doing their 2024 Grover's Hall of Fame Heritage Trust Fund grant for 2024, and they're again requesting city council's support for their grant application. Maybe that wouldn't be bad to get that out of the way first.
Okay. So Drew, want to come up, or Dennis? Grant application first.
Thank you, I didn't expect that we talked. We're starting the process of applying for a 2024 Heritage Trust Fund grant, to further work on the Ellsworth Insurance Building. And, we basically applied for the same thing that we applied for last year. We're updating the figures, have Ralph brother working on those. And, so we applied for a 2023 a year ago, and then we were, there was actually, I think, 4 requests and about half as much money. So we didn't get approved last year. So we're going at it again, and we would sure appreciate your support on it. That's a landmark on the downtown, and if it wasn't there, it would be a big hole. We're trying, our big number one goal is for serving that hill.
Thank you. So that's a grant request.
Yeah, he's just looking for letter of support.
We have already looked at that.
I would, they would have, they should.
Mr. Mayor, I would recommend that we approve the letter of support for the Heritage Trust Fund grant for and allow the city administrator to sign.
I'll second.
Councilor Critchfield has made a motion, Councilor Hanson has seconded the motion for the letter of support from the Heritage Trust Fund for 2024 to allow the city administrator to sign it. Any concerns, any debate regarding that? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 All right, motion carries. We'll go and get that letter to you shortly. Thank you. And I think there's another request from the Drovers Hall of Fame. Do you want to go through this real quick then?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Dennis is looking at, Dennis, are you gonna come up? He is looking to do a convention honoring the 50th anniversary of the Cattle Drive. And they're having a convention, ICPA, is that correct, Dennis?
Yes.
Okay, and, there's a request in this packet for you to, utilize both the gym, and the rec center. Thank you, Dennis.
As you can see, I kind of did a cover letter indicating what we're doing. We are having the International Chisholm Trail Association Annual Meeting and Conference, Chisholm Trail Conference on the 20th of October. That association is based out of Wichita, Kansas, and it's international, I should say. They'll be coming here to convene on speakers and entertainers and educators as to history of the Chisholm Trail. Along with that, the National Drovers Hall of Fame has chosen to add a second day of activities. Again, meaning entertainment, Western and Drover cowboy related entertainment on that following Saturday. What I've given you is the flyer that we've been using so far to promote this. We'll be redoing that, especially for Ellsworth, not just for the entire Free State area. You've also got an agenda for the conference itself. These agendas are proposed, they're still changing, so they're not hard and fast. And then you'll find the second agenda for scheduled events for the Ellsworth portion of this 150th anniversary. And the final piece of paper I gave you is a press release that's gone out in reference to the entire event. Another release will be done when we finalize all our entertainers, performers, speakers. But what we're asking for is that if we can utilize the rec center on Friday the 20th for the conference. And if we can utilize the city auditorium on the 21st, Cowboy Symposium, at no fee to the associations. And then we also ask for your support in any way, shape, or form to help us move this and get this going. We want to bring in 100 to 250 people into Ellsworth to stay and wine and dine and spend their money.
So a couple of questions I have for you, Dennis, if with your permission. First, what is your current status of your alcohol license for this event?
Yeah, I refer that to Richard.
We have cereal malt beverage, license that we had for Cowtown. And I talked to them downstairs or by phone. And that cereal malt beverage license, as I understand it, is good for the plaza
Yes.
only. And that's kind of a questionable thing too, whether you're gonna be using the plaza or bringing stuff inside. To the city hall, here for one Saturday afternoon.
So that's one decision council would need to make today, is to approve allowing your attendees to bring alcohol into the.
Well, I'm not asking to do that.
I think that would be a proper thing to do in case that does come to pass, is and into the rec center as well, which is already licensed for it, correct?
No.
Rodeo ground tour.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the question, because we're moving things around a little bit, so we haven't finalized if there will be alcohol, if it will not be. But it'd be nice to be approved to have it in case we want to utilize our beer license.
What does ABC have to say about it?
ABC doesn't have anything. That's a bad way to answer the question. What we have is, I understand, and I'm the one that gets that license, is that it's a cereal malt beverage license and licenses to sell beer on the plaza. And selling beer on the plaza will only be if we utilize the plaza. And that's as far as it goes, as to my knowledge.
would you guys be selling beer at the event though?
And
If you were to bring alcohol in here, would you be selling it in here?
If we were to, yes,
So you would have to get a special license for that.
so we may have to revamp that.
That was one of my concerns.
Yeah,
And then floor coverings, what do you, we just had both of these floors redone either by donation or by, the rec department budget. And I believe that Ron told you that you'll need to get floor coverings in addition to what we have. What's your plan for covering that?
He indicated that he would do the covering for the city hall.
Yeah, but it's only capable for a certain amount of activity, for dancing and stuff like that, you need additional covering.
Trying to secure a floor and stay on top of that, the dance, if we do not get that firmed up, then that event may go away. And it may just be entertainment. At the Armory, Ron seemed to think it was okay to serve a dinner on the floor without covering. So that's the direction we're going there.
Okay. Yeah, and with alcohol, our insurance is advising us to have special event insurance. Will you be having any issues procuring that council requires it?
Here's that back to Drew again, his department.
I do not think, I've been working with, our insurers and they, represent West Bend, who we've used before for our beer license. And I don't think we're gonna have any trouble getting a beer license. I do think we have a problem getting the liquor license. There's been a lot of questions that I can't answer. I can answer the beer license, I have armbands, I can card people. I have a person on staff who has the, serves a certification and this type of thing, but as far as liquor by the drink, no.
Okay, well, special event, so special event insurance, you won't have any issues.
I didn't hear that, I heard her talk about liquor.
Yeah,
That is the liquor, it's the rider on the special event. And we keep updating that as far as events, and there's probably events on that schedule that aren't gonna happen. And, so we're finalizing that with them on event insurance.
okay, so you will have special event liability,
I'm sorry.
special event liability.
Yes,
Insurance, okay.
and the amount of that, I never did receive clarification on the city that the minimum they write is $1 million per occurrence, 2 million per event. That's the minimum they'll write, so I don't know what that's gonna say.
And that's been what my request has been.
Okay, yeah, I never done that, yeah. Thank you.
So floor covering, bases covered. Business, special event insurance bases covered, and then the liquor license, beer license, that will alter
it just depends on what they do.
what they do.
If they want to serve beer here, they're gonna have to get a special CMB to license this premises for the event date.
Right.
Because their license is only good for the plaza. If they have a beer garden in the plaza, by all means, they're good. They're already covered, but they can't do it here without a special CMB.
How long will that take to get done?
That's up to
Means I can
ABC.
have- No, it's not.
Oh, never mind. I stand corrected.
It's me.
So within a month
I
they
mean,
could do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So some of this they could do.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Comments?
So, is anybody out there, Tyler, Aaron, or Jessica, do you have any questions for Dennis?
No question.
They're requesting, whether council would be willing to, waive their, fees or not, that is your call.
Mr. Mayor, I don't know if I'd be comfortable with it being in the city hall due to the floor and all of that. I don't know if it's worth the risk considering what we just did. If Ronnie would support that out at the rec center, I would be more supportive of it out there. That's all I had to say.
But this is our primary concern, the city hall.
The wooden floor, the work that has been done.
Yeah. Cause we just spent 17. And some change.
So can it be covered? I mean, is there?
Yes, it can, but Ron already has given them instructions on what he wants from them.
Can you cover it, Dennis, do you think?
Well, Ron said he was the one who would be covering the floor for traffic. If we do bring in a Old West band for dancing, we will have to bring a floor.
That's right.
So the motion should talk about this flooring. That some.
So if they use the band and they wanna do the band in here, then they would have to get additional flooring on top of the traffic floor that we have.
The little bit of the disadvantage we have, if you had these kind of dances at the Armory in the past. But now with the new floor on it, it's not feasible for dance side either. So the option was to utilize the auditorium and we have to secure a flooring, and we did that once before in another event.
Since you have, Dennis, forgive me for interrupting, but since your plans are still kind of fluid in some places, have you ever thought about using Prisker Park? And
Well, it's late,
plans venue there?
it's late October,
Okay.
and that's kind of where we kind of pulled away from the plaza.
Fair enough.
And we've also pulled away the plaza because of the infrastructure, fencing, yada, 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 that we wanted to. And some of our events that would have been at the plaza have been canceled. So now we're in a position where we're just entertainment and speakers. And so why not just have it all in one location?
That's fair.
What, has anybody looked into the Legion for something like that? Cause you could probably do the booze and stuff if you had. And maybe do that too, and you wouldn't have to put a floor down, they have dances there too. I don't know if that's an option or not.
That is an option and it's something we'll need to look at. We have chose to try to keep everything downtown for our downtown merchants. I'm in hopes that they will partake with us and do their own promotions. But that's why we work so hard to try to keep it in the downtown area. But if need be, we could sure do that. I'll check into that. We could actually move fall dance to the VFW.
I would just hate for you to lose out on some of these excellent events because of some.
Yeah, we can do that. They've been considered, but because they're away from downtown, we really have to pursue it.
I can respect that.
Anything else?
My primary concerns are covered.
So just FYI, if anything were to come from this, for them to be able to do it here, you guys would have to approve that in a meeting before they would be able to do that.
Do
Like,
what?
you would have to approve the special CMB. If you were to choose to let them do it in here,
Separately,
you would have to do it in a meeting before their event.
sure, we would just
So-
do that there.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
So,
The heck of a motion. I'll get my notes. Yeah, my notes.
So Dennis, are you gonna wanna have alcohol out of the armory? For those. Wait. Alcohol is still a problem. No pun intended. In the past, we have had alcohol. In fact, National Growers Hall of Fame has sponsored a free dinner, drinks and hors d'oeuvres. We are not doing that here because we're running into the difficulties with alcohol. Yes, we would like to furnish our attendees an opportunity to buy at least a beer. And yes, we would like to offer our visitors that are coming to Elder to see RW Hampton on Friday night, a chance to buy a beer. But we're not gonna jump through hoops or endanger anybody or anything to try to get that accomplished. If it go together, we'd like it.
We have approved a special CMB for the rec center prior to this for the golf course to hold a cornhole tournament out there. So just an FYI there, we have approved a special CMB out there.
They
before.
would need.
They would need a special CMB out there, yeah. And we have prior.
I'm a lot more comfortable with stuff out there. Of course, it doesn't do the downtown stuff.
Right,
I'm not real comfortable with little stuff here. I don't know that I like the idea about calling City Hall, just as a precedent. And personal board thing.
Can I add something? Sure. I graduated in 65. And as a teenager, I recall all the fantastic and fabulous events that this building venue had created. And that was part of my reasoning for wanting to bring RW Hampton into City Hall, because this has been a huge, wonderful venue for entertainment all these years until just recent years. And to me, to bring that back, it's kind of nostalgic. I don't know if it's going to increase our numbers. We've got the PAC Center, and that was considered as well, and could still be. But again, we've now pulled the people away from downtown and took them to the other end of town. The facilities there, the acoustics are wonderful. But it's, how bad do we want to try to bring it down?
I have a question, if I may, on this. If you had it at the Legion, doesn't the Legion have a beer license, and couldn't they sell beverages up there with their license and their permit? I mean, as for the Legion,
The Legion could, yeah.
so that's.
Yes, and they have the license for, yes.
If it was up there, they had the beer, they could be taken care of automatically, and the drinks. Just an idea,
Yeah, good. The dance could definitely be.
yeah.
And you know, the
Yeah, so
revenue-
Legion can, but if they're trying to profit from the beer sales, then they can't use a Legion's license. They have to use their own.
Correct.
So the Legion would profit from the alcohol, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Which they may waive the rent for the alcohol beverages too, so you don't know.
So we can't put RW Hampton in the VFW. We hope there wouldn't be enough room.
So is he just a speaker then, or do we get there to?
RW Hampton is a well-known Western music performer with multiple awards in the Western music industry. He's right up there with Michael Martin Murphy, Red Steagall.
I checked out his profile. He's been in the industry a long time.
Yeah.
I guess I appreciate the fact that they're trying to bring people to town. And I get what Dennis is saying about using this facility. And I understand we spent money on the floor with the proper floor covering. I can't imagine that people are gonna come down here and get plowed for this and make a huge mess, but so if they could get the proper floor covering, I wouldn't have a problem with it, but that's me speaking my personal. Without the proper floor covering, no. But with the proper floor covering, like I said, I don't see this being a big drunken brawl where you're gonna have people making fools of themselves and. So, I wouldn't have a problem with it, but that's me speaking as one person.
Might add to that, our performer. Doesn't want that.
So with that said, do we want one massive motion? What do we want to break it apart?
Well, it really isn't that big of a motion.
Okay.
The main two decisions here, or the main decision is whether we want to charge fees or not. That's their number one request.
And what would the fee be if we did charge?
They are, let me see.
Kelly knows.
Well, I don't really know. I just can base it off of his application. Let's see.
I mean, that's something. Main reason for us asking for that is we're trying to do this on a very small budget.
Sure.
And we may or may not go out for advertising sponsors. Some of the board doesn't want to do that, but we need revenue. And although we did get a bed tax grant, $8,000. But Michael Martin, our governor, be Hampton, 5,000. Advertising that budget is 1,500, and the rest of it is pay this bill or to bring in more entertainment. So this is the way that allows more money to bring in more entertainment.
So maybe a motion to waive the fee where you're still looking it up now.
So essentially, it would be like 2 days worth of fees. Let me see what the, so for like the gym, it's $500 for 2 days max, or like at the rec center, it would be the full facility is $500 for 2 days max.
So that,
Kind of, I mean, yeah, so, but they're not renting, I mean, it's kind of, he has his request broken up a little bit, so they're gonna have the gym like just in the evening on one night and then all day the next day. And like same with the rec center, they're gonna have it for one full day, so essentially it would be like, Ronnie has it on here, the full facility for 8 hours at the rec is $300 or $500 for 2 days max, though, so like, it would be if they booked it for 2 days, it would be $500, but, and like the gym is $300 for 8 hours, so.
500 for 2 days, so waive fees of up to $1,000. Make it easy. That's the first motion, and the second one is, do we want to open up City Hall for the concert? Yeah, with proper floor covering. That's your second request, right, Dennis?
correct.
Okay.
And to be able to sell alcohol.
Well, so I would have to present that special CB to you guys to approve,
Okay,
so,
so they're gonna have to come to you with that counter, right?
yeah. And that would be, when is your event?
20th and 21st.
So that would be like at the first meeting of October or the second meeting of September.
Can we just table this until he gets all his paperwork, insurance, all that?
I think you probably need some motion so that you can make plans. Mr. Mayor, I move that we waive the fees for the Drover events at City Hall and at the rec center for the dates of October 20th and 21st.
I'll second.
Counselor Scritchell has made a motion, Counselor Hanson has seconded the motion to waive all fees for the use of the rec center and City Hall for the dates of October the 20th and 21st for the 2023 Chisholm Trail Conference and ICPA annual meeting. Any concerns about waiving those fees up to $1,000? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, motion carries. We'll need a second motion.
Mr. Mayor, I would make a motion that we allow the Drovers Hall of Fame to use the City Hall for the 20th for the dance. Given that they get proper floor covering, in place. And that they could sell alcohol, even they apply for the proper CMB license with Cali. Oh, and the rest, you guys want alcohol at the rec center too? Okay, and then they, and alcohol at the rec center, given the same special CMB license.
I'll second.
Counselor Hanson has made a motion and Counselor Scritchfield has seconded that motion for the Drovers Hall of Fame to utilize both facilities, the rec center and the City Hall for the.
Can I add something to that too?
Sure.
That the flooring be approved for Ronnie or Dustin, or that the flooring that they have gotten is going to be super protective of the gym floor.
Okay.
That it's, I mean, it's approved.
We also want to add that they have the insurance.
Yes, but.
Oh, and yes, and if they have-
Special.
Yes, and then they have
insurance.
special event insurance,
Of at least
for,
$1 million.
of at least $1 million for the event.
All second.
All right, Counselor Hanson has made a motion, Counselor Scritchfield has seconded that motion. So the Drovers Hall of Fame can use the rec center. See if I get this right. It looks like they're gonna be using that on Friday night. Primarily, maybe a little bit on Saturday for those 2 dates, October 20th, 21st for City Hall, October 20th, 21st. To sell alcohol with the approved licenses They are also to get approval for the proper floor covering from our city administrator or the supervisor of recreation prior to usage, and that they have $1 million of special event insurance before the event. Any concerns,
Oh, comment.
comments? Go ahead.
Dennis, next time, please get us in the loop ahead of everything. We're part of the planning, the beginning. Okay. You want to use our facilities.
Yeah, economic development's been in the loop since day one. Our mayor has been somewhat.
Somewhat.
I know, okay, but we'll do, yeah, we can get you over there.
Well, the approvals, I mean, I know that we've done tours and stuff like that, but the paperwork and the approvals, it'd be great if we did this a lot earlier.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, we sure have done that, yeah.
Any other comments, concerns? All right, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye,
Opposed?
that's me, Jessica.
Gotcha. All right, motion carries. Dennis, good luck. We hope you are able to put all this together. I think you will, and we're excited about it, so. Yeah,
Any support we can get, and spread the word,
sure,
come and join us.
right?
I'll add it to the city's calendar on our website.
The 150th anniversary of the Ellsworth Cattle Trail only comes once.
Right.
It's
So
a,
we're working hard to get our neighboring communities, which is Pond Creek, Ellenwood, and Clinton, join in, correspondence going back and forth. So hopefully they'll be a part of this.
Sure. Very good, thank you, sir.
Thanks, Dennis.
Thank you very much.
Hey, next item on the agenda for new business, the RFQ for the airport consultant, that is agenda item report 23-264.
Back in June, or July, I was alerted that our contract with Benesh was coming to an end. So they gave me, they requested that I put it out to bid. We did the RFQ first, I sent it to the FAA to be approved, and so I put it out to bid August 3rd. And September 1st, we had a total of 14 downloads and only one submission, and that was Alfred Benesh and Company by Brad Waller out of Manhattan, Kansas. They've been serving us since 2007. I included the booklet that he sent in front of you if you wanted to look at it. There's also the digital version. He submitted the digital version. I ended the bid session on the 1st of September 2023, and he submitted that to me, I think a couple of days before that. So I am just requesting awarding of the bid or not, that is your call, but we've been working with Benesh and we haven't had any major issues from Benesh so far since I've been here. I haven't gotten a lot of negative feedback.
And so, couple of corrections, when not a bid, it's a request for qualification.
Yes, thank you.
For accepting their qualifications. There is no cost until they do work.
That's right. And everything will be brought before city council before any expenditure is made for any project. So you will be asked to approve every step of the way.
So basically, FAA requires us to have a consultant hired while we are in operation of our airport. And we do that in 5-year increments. There's no cost until we ask them to do work. And they help us develop plans and future projects for the airport.
Thank you, and I couldn't have said it better.
So is this an FAA requirement at the 5 years and? Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I would propose a motion to award Benesh the bid to continue to be the airport consultant.
Council Renard has made a motion to continue to allow Benesh to be the airport consultant for another 5 years. Councilor Scritchfield has seconded that motion. Any concerns? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, motion carries. Next item would be the adoption of the acceptable use policy as an addendum to the personnel manual that is agenda item report 23-285.
Thank you, Dan. One of the last steps that I think is important to closing up the ransomware attack last year's policy put in place for us to follow as staff to make sure that all of the investments that y'all have authorized me to make, the new servers, the new firewalls, everything that I've put in place, replacement of the computers, we've invested quite a chunk of our annual budget to getting all of that fixed, getting us up to the 21st century and replacing old computers, adding firewalls, et cetera. And I want to make sure that we continue to protect that. And a part of that, in my opinion, is as an acceptable use policy. I did have Next Tech look it over, Jason and Zach, who we're both extremely familiar with. Both looked it over and they said it was good. Their advice to me is keep it simple and simple. And so I tried to shrink it to these 3 pages, and I'm just requesting your blessing to add it to our personnel manual as an addendum to govern the use of our digital facilities infrastructure. It's nothing too extravagant, just a common sense type of stuff, email usage,
Social media usage.
yeah, for social media usage, limited activity. I had the department heads look it over before I brought it to you, and I didn't see, Callie, did you receive any significant feedback from the department heads regarding this?
This includes paid employees and volunteers.
It includes anyone who accesses city networks.
We're gonna sign it.
Being elected official. City owned.
See,
That would be, I saw your language, it did allow what Wayne was saying, it kind of was broad.
yeah, and that was on purpose,
Right.
just so it's a generalized, don't be silly on our, by using these resources, individuals agree to comply with this policy to ensure the integrity, security, and appropriate use of the city's information technology infrastructure.
I think this is one of the most important pieces. We worked so hard to build a nice network, but I think Wayne said this, is another thing, said this. All it takes is one bad person internally, and if you create a huge hole, that's where the bad guys go. So I think a lot of this is gonna be your deal. You're gonna have to really start looking at logs and start maybe tracking some issues.
Yes.
The thing that I've seen in my time are people in an office using social media all day long and, you know, clicking on ads and this and that. That's just a huge risk. So that's always been a disciplinary, a lot of doctors' offices seems to be where I've seen it. And they just create nightmare after nightmare after nightmare until they just grapple with this beast and, you know, they don't want to terminate their employees, but it's just it's a problem. So I think that's what you're gonna end up spending a little bit of time on, educating, like, you know, if you want to go outside and use your phone, there you go, but.
It is, I agree, Marin, just to let you know, I get firewall reports for each of the firewalls, and I can see the network activity at each of our shops. Kelly was, it kind of makes us laugh, but you know, I've shared some of the firewall reports of some of the hits that we're getting on our network. The city hall, and I don't think it's on purpose, there's a lot of embedded links and stuff that forwards people to places they shouldn't be, whether we want it or not. But we've had hits from, we get scanned regularly from people outside of this country. I've seen that, and if you ever want to see firewall reports, I get them every month, I can send them to you. And it's kind of scary, in a way, but it's blocking. So that, imagine all the stuff that these firewalls had before are now blocking our network from these scans that you were getting regularly prior to that. So Next Tech is doing their job. And some of the websites that I've seen people going to, unfortunately, we've been flagged with things that we shouldn't be. But I haven't investigated it too much, but like you said, I'm gonna start digging into this. I've been looking at I do look at the reports. And with this policy, and along with that, now I can take action if I see a problem.
Sure.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the adoption of the acceptable use policy as presented to be included as an addendum to the personnel manual for the city of Ellsworth.
I'll second that.
Counselor Scritchfield has made a motion and Counselor Bernard has seconded that motion to approve the adoption of the acceptable use policy, AUP, as the addendum to the personnel manual for the city of Ellsworth. Any questions, concerns? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, next item, the request for the approval of TIP funding and the creation of an escrow fund for Dr. Lindsay Volz's facility. That is agenda item report 23-288.
Thank you, Mayor. So Kurt Glazier came to meet with me from First Bank of Kansas a couple of weeks ago, and his request was he's helping, and he is working with Dr. Bolts to procure additional funding to finish her building, and he was going to request council to allow him to put the $120,000 you approved for her TIF funding into an escrow account with First Bank. To use as my understanding of his request is to use it as collateral against loans he's applying for an additional grant funding or funding for the project. And so I told him I would ask council for direction on if you wanted to do that or not. He did reassure me, and we can put this in writing. I'm assuming that's what you're gonna ask if you do decide to approve it. He does not in any way want to cross whatever you've put in place, because I have not gotten the additional documentation from Dr. Bolts that you requested when you first approved it, so they are tracking that, but he is willing to hold it in escrow. He will not go against city council. He will honor anything he requests before release of funds. He just wants to hold it in escrow so he can show on paper that it's a collateral to go after the additional funding. That's my understanding.
Were you able to reach out to the auditors about the legality of this action?
Not yet. I mean, so I would probably, if that's what you want, I would have to get their opinion on this.
With all the rules associated with this fund, I think that would be appropriate.
Okay.
Does she have the money ready to sell them too?
It's still a TIF, because I have not gotten the additional documentation that you requested. I haven't really seen it.
And she hasn't done the work that.
Right.
associated with the AWS.
Right, but then what I'm asking is, if the escrow, then does she get that money to use for her, toward her building, is that?
That's Kurt has told me that he will honor whatever he requested. He'll hold it until she meets our requirements. But I'll check if I did not check with the auditors in time, so I can get that done.
I would be on table until we talk to the auditors.
Yeah.
Does everybody out there understand, Tyler, Jessica, and Aaron, what he's trying to do here?
Kinda, I guess.
All right, we'll go ahead and table it then. Sound good? All right, we're gonna go ahead and table it.
Table it.
So that Dustin can speak to the auditor. Okay, so that leaves us with the department heads, and they are not here today, but their reports are here. I've got a couple of questions, maybe Dustin, you can answer. As I look at the street department update, what is settling a grade? What does settling a grade mean?
Settling a grade.
Grade,
That means like filling in a hole that we dug for a burial.
okay.
The part of it. the
Or
street-
if Griggs had settled, then we'll go in and put more dirt on.
Okay, yep, all right, I noticed that in this report.
Some of the, just, the mayor, just to fill in some of the projects that
Sure.
Chad have been helping me with, we are currently in the process of digitizing our cemetery records. And as part of that process, for Kelly, correct me if I'm wrong, but, a lot of times the Delvin and the streets department will go out and, double check a lot of our records to make sure that what we have written down is matching what is actually in the cemetery. And, sometimes it also requires us fixing some of the graves and we find the problems, we get checked too.
Okay. The other question I had on the department heads was, they transported a raccoon in Blackwell. Someone had caught it in a cat trap.
Yes. So we have regular complaints regarding raccoons. We don't meet all of them, but a lot of times the police department or sometimes. Code enforcement has helped out.
Right, take it out of the woods and.
We have, that's what, that is the guidance that we've gone through fishing game. That's raccoons.
Saw that, I was interested. Yeah. All right, city attorney is not here, so city clerk,
I don't have anything.
okay, city administrator,
Everything I've gotten is in your, in my emails to you.
okay. All right, city council, Councilor Renard, do you have anything?
No, sir.
All right, Councilor Coates, do you have anything?
Sorry, it was hard to get on off of mute. No, I don't have anything other than I know Tyler has brought this up before. It is incredibly hard to hear when you're on mute, especially if you're not on a laptop.
Anything else, Jessica?
That's it.
All right, Councilor Johnson,
No.
all right, Councilor Scritchfield, do you have anything?
No.
Councilor Hanson?
No.
All right.
Oh, hold on, yeah, other I do. What about the property that we tore the house down on? Is it West Street, the grass is shoulder high. We can't see it from the front side, but you can see it from the back side, and I know that we are out of money, but it looks awful. If I was the neighbors, I would be not very thrilled about it.
So council, next council meeting,
Jessica? Jessica,
Yes.
no, please don't leave yet. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
next council meeting, I was supposed to do it this one, but I ran out of room. At next council meeting, I will be presenting a city council resolution to set a price of the city staff and mitigate poverty.
Anything else, anybody? All right, mayor updates, Jessica, real quick. The Crizic Park, advisory committee or council. Can you provide us with just a short presentation the next meeting? Of what you found, what you recommend? And we can kind of, have that information so we can have a discussion the next meeting.
I'm not really quite sure that was my role on that committee. I was the facilitator, not a presenter. I mean, I can put together my notes, but if you wanted someone to present their findings, that might be a better job for Brian Foster.
What do you think?
I'm gonna ask him to come in a presentation, if that's what you want.
And then you and Justin can kind of support maybe what you heard and. Sound good, Jessica? Have Brian, try to get Brian to come in.
I couldn't hear you.
Does this sound good to get Brian to come in?
Yeah, if you're wanting information about like findings, yes, I think that would be good. If you want me to just give you my notes, that's one thing, but I can't talk like an expert about it like he can.
Right. Maybe just you, Dustin, and Brian. We'll let Brian present, and then you and Dustin can kind of provide the, for better word, of color commentary, some of the background and your thoughts, what you experienced, and we'll kind of take it from there.
Sounds good?
Okay,
Next meeting, you would like Brian Foster to.
if we can, yeah.
Okay, I will ask him if he's.
And if we gotta wait another one, that's fine. We'll wait a whole time.
Permission to speak.
Go right ahead there.
I did want to let council know, and Dan, correct me if I misunderstood your approval, but, I had one of my very close high school teachers pass away, and I requested to go honor him. And I asked Dan if I could take Wednesdays and Friday off next week to go do that in Colorado. If that's okay. Thank you.
All right, with that said, I have no further comments. Just wanted to talk to Jessica and Dustin about the park and see what we can do there. And that's it. Good meeting. Can't think of anything else, so with that said.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Too late.
Council, you adjourn the meeting, council. Second that motion. Hearing
I'll
none.
second.
Bye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
I will be out, meetings in Missouri tomorrow.